Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
Experience.
Post show, post show, post show, post show.
As always, in tradition, begin the post show by welcoming our new Patreons, and this week is no different. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Kevin Benson, came out of Brendan Shop.
Thank you, Kevin. Way to go, my man.
Thank you for your support. And then I have a Carla Hagler.
Carla, way to go. Thank you so much for your support.
Any relation to Marvelous Marvin Hagler that she came out, or he came out, Brian Callen?
Or what about who's
Carla
the
came
actor?
back.
Yeah, thanks, Carla. Welcome,
Well,
welcome
I
home.
just fucked up the gender, so
Welcome
Carla just
home.
left.
What about who's the actor?
Then we have
Hagler.
Larry Hagman. I'm thinking.
Hagman.
Joshua Arlano. Joshua Arlano
That'll do.
came out of Brian Red Band. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And Devin Seeger, you sneaky bastard, with $1.69.
what you
Naughty
did there.
boy,
We
naughty
see what you did
boy.
there.
So there was one I think you missed there, okay?
I think it just says the total is $2, but he made it $1.69.
Oh, you said, sorry, Joshua Arellano.
Yeah.
I fought through that last name.
That's at that level.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you just misspoke, I see. Okay, no
misspoke.
problem. No problem. Great.
And
Terrific.
personal shout out on behalf of the boys to Alex Athananakos. Your contributions are just overwhelming, and thank you. As long as
Thank
you're
you
here.
so much.
Thank you. And
I'm
we're
here
sorry
for you.
Kamar keeps butchering your last name.
Yeah. If
I
you
worked
want
on it for like an hour today.
if you want to send it to us like phonetically, we'll get that right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make a joke for the Innocence Project. You know who's sharing that podcast all over the world? Ghislaine.
Oh, Siri didn't understand the joke. I'm not sure I
irony.
understand you.
She's like pushing this. People are wrongly accused. Listen to what these guys have to say.
And that
soon,
Innocence
Kamar,
Project one,
too
that
soon.
was a tough listen. Tough listen.
Tough lesson, trying to bring some humor. And
It's not every day Joe cries on the show.
Not in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
just to follow up, we were saying no statement from Brian Callen was almost an admission of guilt. He's made a statement now, and he's fighting it. So
Yeah, but he has not made a statement on his own show. And I think that is suspicious. And can I say something else? They mentioned Brian Callen in the Rob Lowe episode.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, Brian goes there. And then
And
then there was just silence all of a sudden.
Why is Joe not supporting him? What is going on here? What is going on here, Kamar?
that's what I wanted to say. Remember in the sex episode, Joe breaks down his theory about Catholic girls, and this girl was like a cock cookie monster.
Yeah.
What if she ends up being the one that comes out of the woodwork to bring him down? Would that be horrible?
From when he was 16? I don't think it works.
Well,
like
that's the
that.
thing with the Brian Callen was from 22 years ago.
Yeah, but he was still an adult.
In any event, he made a comment, so I think that's.
But you don't find it suspicious that Joe is not jumping to his defense? This is his best friend in the world. He said it.
Yes. But I don't
I think that speaks
Joe
volumes.
does that. Does Joe do that?
Kamar, this is his best friend in the world.
But he went pretty much dead air on Ari Shafir when he did his thing. It's different.
This is so different
Things,
than
but-
what happened between Ari's was obviously stupid. Joe couldn't stand up for him because Ari did something stupid. Did Brian do something stupid?
I would say Joe is probably sitting back and wanting to have all the facts and everything and see where this goes before he says something.
Because he doesn't want to support him if it turns out that he's guilty.
Well, no one wants to support him if he turns out he's guilty.
But it's his best friend.
But then,
So shouldn't he do it anyways?
until he's charged with the crime and convicted, as we learned on this project, we have to look at him as an innocent man.
Of course. And I don't necessarily think Brian is guilty. I want to see all the stuff too. But I don't know. Like, I feel like if you got accused of that, I'd want to stand up for you. And
Or maybe
like,
I
if
ask
you
you
told
not
me,
to.
if I said, Kamar, I'm going to put my name on the line. You tell me right now if you rape that girl. Maybe, you know, like, and
I
then
say I raped that girl, but I still need you to put my name on the line. Then you have to make a decision.
well, that's a different story.
So we don't know, but he made a statement, which is more than nothing.
Yep, fair enough. I'm sorry.
Well, Neil on his podcast
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, Neil came out and was like, I knew this was going to happen. There's more stories to come.
Who's Neil?
Neil Brennan. Neil was like, I saw this coming when the D'Elia thing dropped. He was like, there's more stories about Callum that are going to come. There's more stories about other people that are going to come out.
Like he's saying that this is real, or he says what I'm saying that they're trying to bring down Joe.
Well, you'd have to go listen to it. It's on his How Neil
You heard
Feel?
it?
I didn't hear it, no.
Oh, you just heard a discussion about it.
Yeah.
How Neil feel?
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
'Cause
Yeah.
isn't he like a huge hater? Oh, you're saying Neil Brennan.
Not his brother.
Not his brother. Not
Ken? Not Ken. What's his brother's name?
Kevin.
Kevin. I knew it was a K.
I like Kevin. I don't like Neil.
right, but isn't Kevin a huge hater?
Yeah, he calls Neil starfucker.
No, but doesn't he hate all Hollywood?
He hates his life. Yeah.
He hates all
He hates his
comedians.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cute with his consistency.
All right.
So just a couple things for Post Show today. I don't know if you guys saw in the news, but there's a massive explosion in Lebanon.
How did we not see that?
I was being facetious.
Okay.
But that was the same stuff that was in the Oklahoma bombing. The Oklahoma bombing was 5,000 pounds. This was 500,000 pounds.
Wasn't it sitting there forever?
For 6 years, it had been confiscated.
It was in like a Russian ship or something?
No, it was now stored on land.
Okay.
Do you guys believe that? That's like the same thing as saying, yeah, that wet market was right next to the. No?
Well, you got to be careful because if you're going to blame anyone.
Well,
I have no allegiance to
I'm just saying, though, if I was going to point the finger at anyone.
Netanyahu? Is it Netanyahu?
Yeah, you said it right. Yeah.
No, but he's in power right now, right? He
In
was
Israel, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking like 3 days before saying, if they do any, there's going to be retaliation. Like, that's not so far-fetched.
and Hezbollah had said they were going to use that to blow up Israel. So it's like,
use that ship to blow up Israel.
it wasn't a ship. It was in a building on the port.
I thought it was in a ship.
It had been there for 6 years.
At one
I know
point,
that I heard. I heard
at
it
one
had been there
point
for.
it was in a ship.
it
It had been
came-
sitting in the dock.
Okay.
It came there. Okay, maybe it was in the dock. One thing is there was a big grain silo behind it that's still standing. So hats off to Lebanese construction. But did you watch the video of it?
Yes.
How it's like a shocking that it explodes and then
What, the shockwave?
Then
Yeah,
the
of course.
thump comes
Well,
like.
did you see all the flashes?
Well, that was a fireworks factory right beside it.
See, again, wet market, disease factory. Like, these seem like a lot of coincidences.
The point is, the Lebanese people are riding because it doesn't matter if it was an attack or if it was an accident.
Well, their country is fucked right now. It's like the worst thing that could
That
happen.
much of this fertilizer/explosive should never be held anywhere. And I mean, there's stockpiles of this other places that people should be aware of. Stockpiles.
Store piles works too.
Oh, I'm just trying to listen.
In any event, they're like, who the fuck let this sit here? And they're telling one of the sad stories is that there was a fire brigade was there fighting it. Like people were going towards it as you do, heroes or whatnot, before this explosion happened.
What do you mean? I thought the explosion happened like right after.
I think what he's saying is there was a fire at first, and then once that
Gotcha.
shit got big,
Gotcha.
then the explosion happened.
The government should have said, everyone get the fuck away from that area. It's just gross corruption because I guess the Lebanese government is sort of run by Hezbollah, which is a terrorist organization. And it's just so dirty.
Yeah, it's no good, man.
But, I mean, what was poignant to me is we talk about the scandal or government corruption here. Like, that is the worst extent that government corruption can leave you, to have an accident, or even if it is an attack, that shouldn't have been there where it was. You know what I mean?
Crazy. Listen, this has nothing to do with it. I know they're not the same, but you know how Canada had sent the garbage to
The Philippines.
China,
Or Philippines.
Philippines, and then they didn't want it, and it sat around for years. Like, that's the kind of fucking shit that goes on. You know what I mean? Where
Well,
people
yeah.
just don't know.
And if you were there, you may have thought it was a nuclear explosion.
I think some people still do think it was some sort of
And
nuclear explosion.
no one has mentioned anything about radiation or anything like that. So hopefully that's not it. But it was just, whether it was an attack or an accident, it was horrific to watch. Like, that bothered me more than the George Floyd thing. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, we assume people are in charge in places and stuff, but You never know.
You know
but
what's
that country's in shambles.
you know what's really crazy?
The whole area is in shambles.
Is that Uyghur Muslim stuff that nobody is talking about.
Oh, we should. First of all, the U.S. should just sanction the shit out of China. We all should. Every country right now should be like, it's a concentration
Dude,
camp.
is that not a Holocaust? Like,
Yeah,
am I
it's-
wrong?
yeah,
It's
that's exactly what
millions of
happened to the
people getting
Jews. Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
They're being killed in ridiculously horrible ways.
Simon, they had
like,
photos of them loading them onto the trains, and I was like,
They're being-
we saw this 50 years ago,
textbook.
60 years ago.
They're
Sorry.
being so they can't reproduce. Sorry, help me out here. guys.
Sterilized.
Sterilized. Like, this is what they did to the
Brainwashed.
Jews. This is the same thing, man.
There's a disconnect that
You
nothing's.
you can't
yeah.
keep buying your fucking electronics. You can't, like, this has to stop. This has to stop.
We're too deep in bed together. But since
That's well, I mean, Kamar just hit the nail on the head. You say something like we have to stop buying our electronics. That means that all electronics.
It's not electronics. I don't even think most of them are made there. I think they're made in like Taiwan and places like that. But
I think most-
they make every piece of deodorant we use. They make our toothpaste. They make every tiny little fucking thing that we take for granted comes from China.
well, it's interesting that you bring China up because that was my next story. Have you ever heard of the Three Gorges Dam?
Yep.
So the Three Gorges Dam is the biggest dam in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's in China on the Yangtze River. It's so big it affects the rotation of the planet.
How does it affect the rotation of the planet?
When they put that dam in, it
The
affected the
momentum of the
eco.
water.
It affected the ecosystem like so far down the line.
It slows the day down by 0.16 of a microsecond or whatever. Like it's
How
not
does it slow the day down?
because the
flow of the water.
and stuff.
Is affecting the rotation of the Earth.
It all works together. Anyways, that is massive impact. You want to talk about environmental impact. And it took 20 years to make $50 billion to build. Biggest hydroelectric
Imagine how
dam
many
in the world.
lives.
A million people were displaced.
How many Uyghur lives?
This is before, well, who knows how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. There was like 6 towns downriver that they had to just demolish.
A million people were displaced because fish can't swim through anymore.
Yeah.
1,000 species done, plants. And now it's about to collapse. And it could be the greatest disaster we've ever seen. And guess what's at the bottom of it?
Lost civilizations.
Wuhan.
Oh.
So,
But I bet you also lost civilizations.
well, there's
That'd be sick if the whole wet market just washed into the ocean.
well, this is what I'm saying. Well,
And Atlantis
the building
was
of-
revealed.
the building of this dam destroyed a bunch of old stuff as well. But there's a no-fly zone. You can't fly over it, so there's no pictures.
Like Antarctica.
And of course, China with their information saying it's not as bad as it sounds, but this could be really bad. And if it were to flood all of Wuhan, good luck ever finding out what happened. And
I think if it floods, we have way bigger problems than.
well, the Chinese have
happened
way
in
bigger
Wuhan?
problem, and we all have a
Wuhan.
big problem of looking at crazy humanitarian
Well,
crisis.
maybe that'll fuck up the rotation of the Earth again. They'll send us into like an ice age or something.
In any event, they're running out of control, and it's really like there are big problems on the planet as we worry about other things.
Well, like every generation, it feels like the end of days, but it most likely isn't.
Well, we're gonna get alien disclosure during our generation. That's cool.
And what are they hiding? So, anyways, that's something to keep an eye on. I hope it doesn't fail, but it would be really bad if it did.
Oh, Dan Bilzerian. Oh, I already know this.
So this is out of Forbes. Dan Blazarian is a renter. Someone else is paying his credit card bills, and his company Ignite has lost $50 million.
I have 3 letters for you.
Too much.
CIA.
You think Dan Bilzerian is CIA? Oh, I thought it was going to be too much philanthropy.
No, he has no money, obviously.
Well, that's the thing. Does the emperor have no clothes? Because we did it on the Patreon recently. Not recently.
But what if he never had any money? What if
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
a honey trap, just like Epstein was a honey trap?
Yeah.
And the CIA has been bankrolling him this whole time. They're the mysterious donor.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
you're
fucking
forgetting. I
no-brainer,
brought
man.
this up on the fucking throwback we did. I said, if you look into his past, his dad was like mobbed up as shit.
Perfect.
And then all this money, all of a sudden, his family, his dad had a ton of money. Him and his brother were all of a sudden professional poker players. And again, he went from like, oh, I'm living in a dorm room playing low stakes poker to now I play in the biggest games in the world, which I get it. There are poker players out there that have that story. I started in my dorm room.
I have 3 words for you, Maddie.
Oh, my God.
Winds of change.
Oh my God. Okay. You think Dan Bilzerian wrote Winds of Change?
No, I think it's another fucking. I think everything you think is wonky.
But could Dan Blazarian be like a Bob Lazar? Like he believes,
He's a space pimp.
You see, now that's interesting. You see,
especially if he's CIA. He's been.
I
convinced that he
figure
is this.
I figure that if you're CIA, if Bob Lazar is, he's like a very rare case where they've managed to keep him dumb. But I think mostly they just have something on you, and then they don't have to put on the charade for you.
There's a strong argument for CIA, given that he tried to go through buds and mysteriously like didn't make it through,
Maddie,
broke his legs.
There are so many. It's almost like we should do a throwback on that episode and look at it only through the eyes of Bilzerian being CIA. So
No,
we're
no,
gonna
no.
review the throwback.
No,
new eyes.
we're watching every Matrix film through the eyes of a trans person.
And then Braveheart.
I'll do that for the first one, but I'm not watching all three like that.
Well, first of all, the second and third are almost unwatchable.
Agreed.
The second one has I guess, some
The
action.
second one
that's-
has some cool parts in it, and they were almost there. Like they almost did things right. They had those twins that were kind of cool, but then they were just stupid. Like they just, I don't know, man. But I don't want to disparage anybody.
You're in shock still. So Dan Blazarian may not be what he seems. I thought that was very interesting. And this is a Forbes article because he's getting sued. This how this information came.
I believe everything you just told me, and I choose to believe that he's CIA.
Here's what I've begun to learn is that there's a bunch of there's a bunch of people in this area. That's where we all kind of live. And then anyone past that, anyone past that on either side is just usually full of shit. As in, like, you can agree and like believe in something to a certain degree, and then once it goes past that, it's
Anything too far this way is bullshit, and anything too far
that's it.
that way
is bullshit. Precisely.
And the farther you go, the more you're spreading those legs.
Okay, sure. But I'm just
The
saying.
metaphor.
I'm
He's
just
star of
saying
your
is
own movie.
most of us live in this area here, somewhere in the middle, and then I don't know. It's like there's that guy that we all know, or that from Ottawa, who was like a super activist, and then all that shit comes out.
Well, you can say it. It's public
Well,
knowledge.
that's the TMP type of thing. When you're pushing too hard to be like righteous, you're hiding something.
But
It's,
except that doesn't exist with these two Innocent Project guys, right?
no,
somehow
they
they
seem like
shine
they're
above.
just righteous. But I mean, look, how many people do you have to save before you'll just agree that they're righteous?
But hold on, there's a difference between like they're not out there on a soapbox saying we're the best, we're better than you. They're just out there saying, hey, there's people that are really fucking hurting in this system that we've created.
100%.
We can help them. All of us can help them.
They're not at all the same.
And they also described in the episode the joy they received from this, like the brain professor saying they're getting such an endorphin release. There's no way they're going to stop doing this. Like, well, I've saved 10 guys. That's good for me. Hopefully other people carry this on. Like, it's just their calling now.
Normally, the weird kind of one-upsmanship that happened at the beginning bothers me, but in this one, it didn't. Like, where what I mean is this, the one guy told his story where he's like, we went in and we didn't think we had a chance, and I don't know what's going on. It's a proceeding. I've never been in there. And the judge comes up and he says, in the so whatever, case dismissed, and he hits the gavel. And the lawyer looks at me and he's like, holy shit, we won. And I'm like, we won? What does that mean? And he's like, we won. The kid's going free. And he was like, and after that was the best feeling I had ever had in my life. And then immediately the guy's like, well, hold on. I have the exact same story. And then he kind of, what I meant was he wasn't necessarily one-upping him. It can come off like that. You know what I mean? When someone tells their story and right away.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's hard to think that these guys are so righteous. Yeah.
Simon, what I said was normally that stuff bothers me. This one, I was just like, they're both just so amped on the fact that they're helping.
And I think they knew too that like it took Joe 5 minutes to cry, and they're like, perfect.
Yeah.
We fucking got him.
Motherfucker.
I thought it was
No, but they knew they had an
I know.
advocate.
Yeah, of course.
know?
Yeah.
I thought it was really depressing how they skated over the cases where it was people wrongly accused and sentenced to death. Because it's not a long-winded story. Like, it just,
That's not a nice ending.
the bads,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's before they got involved, maybe.
Still, that just people
They
have been
can't
killed.
save
Innocent people have been killed.
everybody.
It's-
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. And look,
It's just insane to know that we have put people in a place that we all agree is like the worst place you could be. And it's crazy to think that there's people that are like, it's supposed to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that you did what we think you did. Beyond a reasonable doubt. There are people locked up right now where it's almost beyond a reasonable doubt that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And that is so fucking disgusting.
Forget the Innocence Project for a second. Just think of the documentaries you've watched on prison, on people in prison, and how just fucked up prison is. Like, the shit that people are put through. It's so
But
fucking
if someone does
gross.
something bad, we go, they should rot in there.
Nobody should rot, but you can at least say
Paul Bernardo?
Right, some people should rot. You should at least be able to say, though, look, they're serving their time humanely, right? But like, there's no humanity to prison, and then these people are there and they're not even guilty. Like, dude,
But that's the weird thing is when you look at prison in like Scandinavian countries, they're actually trying to rehabilitate people.
Would you believe that guy that killed the 75 kids fought for more rights in prison?
I mean, that's just
Got
fucking
it.
obscene.
It's
Yeah.
just.
it's gross.
But definitely, instead of spending the money on putting people who do fucked up stuff in jail, spend the money on finding and stopping why people are fucked up and doing fucked up things. I mean, that's obviously the goal.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They were there to tell you that the system itself is so fucked that it doesn't really, until we fix the system, none of it matters anyway. Because the system is just built to perpetually put people in there and it just be a rotating door. So
It's a business.
That's it.
Listen, I think
and like every business, it needs a 4.5% growth every year.
they're making prey for the predators. Like, it's a factory, you know? It's gross. It's really gross.
It's crazy to think though that if like the US stopped procreating, that like 100 years down the line, it would just be like a couple thousand rich people left and they'd be like, fuck, like who do we lock up? Like there's no one left. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, they need to have slave labor. How are they going to do that if there's nobody left?
they've just locked everyone up.
No, that's why they're keeping some people around.
Anyway, you have any more stories, Kamar? That's it for you?
Just a couple things. Me and Simon were talking just before you got here. The sports is just a disaster. Oh, you were here by that.
I was here, yeah.
With the injuries and then they're out of the bubble. Like they shouldn't have done it.
Listen, someone on the Reddit shat on me in like March because I was like, I don't think sports is going to make it through this year. And I still stand by. I get that they're trying. I still stand by it. I understand that as of right now, the Premier League has finished. I'm not certain. I don't think baseball makes it through.
It's like I said, going to the restaurant, wanting to feel normal, but it feels so weird. This is the same thing. Like till everyone's on the vaccine or whatever. Like,
Did you
pump your
see at
brakes.
the baseball game, somebody in the background was Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's?
Yes,
You
yes,
know how
yes.
they
That's
use
hilarious.
the cutouts?
The internet wins again.
Fucking so funny.
I just want to tell a cool story about cultural appropriation being a good thing. So this is an artist named St. John. Mm-hmm. You've heard of him? He's a singer, more of a singer-rapper. His music's not amazing, whatever, but he wrote a song like 3 or 4 years ago called Roses.
Okay.
It's just a song he sings. It's an all right song. And then last year, a Kurdistan DJ who lives in a town of 800, who works at a railway, remixed the song, and it blew up, especially because of the help of TikTok. And number one, he spelled the voice. It's a dance track. And so 3 years later, this song is way bigger than when it first came out. And I'm just saying, without that, you don't have cultural appropriation. Like, I think it's a positive thing, unless it was ultimately written by the CIA.
Wasn't Despacito the same thing? Wasn't it written and then 3 years later someone remixed it and it became like a fucking...
Sort of the same thing, but like it's not like this guy came out and was like, fuck this guy stealing my song, doing this. He jumped on it. Now it's just called the St. John remix, and he's enjoying a whole new round of success.
I mean, listen, if you're getting rich, no one gives a fuck about cultural... You know what I mean? Like,
Well, this is what I'm saying. But where are the people freaking out? Like, and what about this guy from a town of 800 in Kurdistan?
So do you think that, by that logic, do you think that if the Washington football team had...
well, they're about to change their name, so...
I think they should leave it as that, the Washington football team. No, that's their name right now.
I get it. Yeah.
In the league, the Washington football team. If they had cut checks every month to...
First Nations?
that it would have been okay? Like,
Yeah.
does money talk?
I don't know.
For everybody,
I don't know.
Or is it really a principle?
The reason why that
issue?
doesn't work is then you have to put a price on it, and then all of a sudden you have a standard.
Well, you
and-
agree to that price with the people who you're placating.
Again, you'd have to ask the people. You'd have to ask First Nations people how they felt about that. If everyone was getting a chunk of money and it was big enough, who knows?
Yeah, it's weird. How do you spread
But
that around?
I was at a show on Sunday, and there's a comedian doing stuff about appropriations, and I was just thinking, my real dad came here in 1970. Like, I don't have any connection to reward that person for the oppression they received. Like, isn't blaming white people for everyone's problems the most racist thing of all? Like, we sort of agree it's systematic than, it's white people, because that's just as racist as saying anyone else is responsible.
Systemic? Is that
systemic?
What you're,
I mean, listen, there's an argument that could be made that, by and large, white people put those systems in place. But I still agree that, I get what you're saying.
And the guys fighting the Civil War for the South, did they think they were evil? Like, we got to keep being bad slave owners.
Nobody ever thinks they're evil. We've been through this. Yeah. Everybody always thinks they're fighting for righteousness.
Yep.
Because if you don't, you're probably not going to fight unless it's like a Nazi situation where do you die before you fight? That gets into a whole different topic.
The tweet I saw the other day summed it up perfectly. It was like, imagine trying to fly a flag of the country that lost a battle and then arguing that you have the rights of that new country to fly the flag of the battle. You know what I mean? Like,
could never do that.
It's so ass backwards. Like, I fought to have a slave. You lost. Well, I want to exercise the rights of this new country to fly this flag.
Well,
like,
that's what makes the new country the best country in the world.
Sure.
In some people's eyes.
I'm just saying, it's such a weird.
That all flags flown.
All flags matter.
Whatever.
And Donald Trump ruffled feathers this week by imposing tariffs on Canadian aluminum.
Yeah.
So he's got to go. Eh?
And banning TikTok now, for real. He gave a date, September.
Well, what's
21st.
crazy is that TikTok, it could be bought by Microsoft. There's going on in the background.
Yeah.
But they also mentioned in the executive order a company called Tencent.
Yeah.
Which runs a whole bunch of social media things.
All sorts of video games, Rockstar games.
Fortnite, all those things.
The
Epic
one
Games.
my son plays there, that stupid
League of
huge
Legends.
League of Legends. But there's another big thing they're a part of that's not a video game. It's,
Spotify.
Spotify. That was another one.
They are huge, and this thing is saying this company cannot accept money. Like, they're putting...
But they're saying it's not going to affect any of those companies.
Well, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens, but this is Cold War shit
Why
with China.
is Trump fucking with us, though? What did
Because
do over the aluminum?
I
Why?
think right away it's because Trudeau didn't back down on something involving the aluminum, because they need us for aluminum, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what I read. Like, they're super, super dependent on us for aluminum. And I think Trudeau held it over their heads and pulled a power move like last week or 2 weeks ago.
We did what they asked with that whole China thing. It put us at huge peril. Another guy just got caught and is being sentenced to death over some drug charge in China.
For producing ketamine.
It's some trumped up charge over fucking
Well, yeah, who
nothing,
knows
I'm
the
sure.
the justice system. We
My
discussed that
point
before.
is, we're losing, what were they called? Who are the two guys?
The two Steves.
The Stevens, yeah. We're losing Stevens by the day because of fucking Trump and his shit. And now he's fucking nitpicking over aluminum. Come on, guys. We're in this together. When China attacks, they're going to attack North America. It's not going to be an America-Canada thing. Like, this is silly.
But we also know that when they do attack North America, we're dependent.
This is silly.
Okay. Stop touching the mic.
Let's hope we have all our ammonium nitrate separated into small piles. That was just horrific, that bomb, man. That shook me.
Didn't the same thing happen in the Halifax Harbor? Like 100 years ago?
That was actually worse, they say.
Yeah,
That was
I heard.
even
Yeah, it
bigger.
was, dude, they found a cannon like 50 miles inland.
They show you.
A cannon that was like 4 tons. Sorry, am I done talking? Jesus. What do they show you?
Go ahead, come on.
Do you know Toronto well?
Yeah.
They're saying if that,
I saw the layout.
it would have gone to Yonge and Eglinton.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's the blast, windows blow, like, it's crazy, man.
They show you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they had a straight up like map overlay on Toronto showing you like if it was at the harbor front, this is where it would like this. And I was
And
it
where
was
did it get
staggering.
to?
Young and Eglinton, like he said,
Young and
Theoretically.
Eglinton.
That's way up.
way up, Simon.
Like, so would
Past
it,
Bloor,
would
past
it have gotten to
St. Clair.
Yorkdale? Not
No.
Yorkdale. Where the Four Seasons is. Where's that? Yorkville?
Yeah, for sure.
Course,
Yorkville-
all that.
It would have gotten up by University, all up there.
Simon, the Eaton Center would have been
That's
destroyed. Most
downtown.
likely.
Destroyed, yeah. Well, that's way further than the Eaton Center.
Yeah, Yorkville. But I'm just saying, it's
It went to Young and
up
Eglinton.
University.
Young and Eglinton's
That's way up there.
way past the two banks that look like World Trade Centers.
Would it
'cause
have
that's
hit
bluer.
the Drake Hotel? Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, if it happened at Dow's Lake, the windows would be
Well, the
blown off
Drake
this
is
thing.
on fucking Queen
Queen,
Street.
yeah. Anyways,
It's all downtown.
They
All that
had
stuff's obliterated.
a list of the explosions, and it was like the 2 nukes, and then Halifax, and then this.
I believe it might have been on the 70th anniversary of Hiroshima too. Just coincidence happened.
No way.
I think so.
Look that up.
I don't have to.
You know that for a fact.
No, I think it. So
No,
it is.
no, it is not.
Until proved otherwise.
I don't believe that.
So
No,
anyways,
they didn't drop the Hiroshima bombs in August. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm just gonna say no. I don't know the date. I'm gonna say if anything, it was in. Well, when did the war end?
Okay, I'll check this bomb.
I'll
that
check
happened.
Hiroshima.
Yeah.
This is
Fact
terrible.
checking ruins
Okay.
podcast.
Okay. Wow. So you give your date first, Kamar. I'll give my date second.
I said July, didn't I?
You were wrong.
Go fuck yourself.
Nope, not by much.
Larry, why don't you just give it away?
Because it's really going to come down to a really close date. I can see it now.
Oh no! Wow.
They don't say the date.
Yeah, it does. Kamar was right.
It is. It's August 6th,
August 6th,
right?
6th, and then the 9th.
1945.
The 9th is Nagasaki.
Yeah, but I'm saying the 2 nukes
Yeah,
were the
yeah.
6th and the 9th.
Fucking
How fucked up is that?
I
We
thought it was
live
the end of July.
We live in a
That's so weird.
simulation.
How-
1,000%.
no, but how
man.
cold is it that they dropped Hiroshima? Wait a couple days.
Yeah, 3 days later,
Like
and-
you just, oh man, we're bad.
Isn't it so weird that, like, we get it. China's like this big place. Russia's this big place. Japan's this tiny little place. And they were the adversary. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Not, you know what I'm saying. You hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. So yeah, I mean, I think the Canadian government turned around and put tariffs back. So I think that again is a double negative and it just cancels each other out. But
I just wish that we could all get along, especially when we're getting ready to fight a much bigger enemy, either aliens or China.
that's
you know?
got to be the end of the world if America has a war with China. Sorry about my keys, boys.
Yeah, that's when you want to, like, just go.
That's go time. Oh, that's what I want to say. When you see the explosion, boom. When you think it's time to go, it's too late.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you saw people standing there and then running. Like it's just, I don't know.
Well, you think that if when you see the explosion, if you start running, you're going to be okay?
Well, I know you're not because I watched multiple videos, but it's like you could understand this human being would have a shock. Like, what the hell is that?
Kamar, the tsunami footage from Japan is what made me realize that, like, the warnings are all.
Flash floods. I've been watching flash floods all morning. Once you see this water coming,
Oh, it's too late. That's it.
Wouldn't it be insane if you're just driving down the Queensway, minding your own business, and you just start watching missiles falling out of the sky?
Well, that's sort of like the beginning of Umbrella Academy.
No, what was the movie too? What was it? Red State? No, that was the one about the rape. What was the one about the Chinese coming to the States? And
Yeah, it's Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. That's it.
Those Russians. But
Russian.
Oh, sorry.
Same
Whatever. My
idea.
bad.
Same idea.
My bad.
anyways, I was hoping there'd be more. No, check out Roses. I don't think you guys like the song, but
Frailty.
it's cool. We're Frailty's on the target. Who would you recommend of these podcasts this week?
Well, I mean, with me, it's either Rob Lowe or The Innocents. I'm going to go with Innocents because you're both going Rob Lowe.
Yeah, and I would go Rob Lowe because I wouldn't want to recommend someone to be brought down by this project, but it's powerful and should be.
The
I just
Innocent-
think that people should know that that is out there. So that
Totally.
you have to listen to it so that you are aware that it could happen to you. I also think more than anything, you need to know that when the police talk to you, they are not your fucking friends. And that anything you say to them, they will and can use against you. All you should ever say is lawyer.
Even if you were just a guy who brought your friend down to jail to keep him company while he gave his statement.
I have a better idea. Don't ever let your friend be taken to jail. If they want a statement, they can take it there. If he's not under arrest, take him with you.
Till the
If he's-
cops do mushrooms every month.
If he's under arrest, get him a fucking lawyer and tell him not to say a fucking word.
Yeah, no, it's a really tough week for me because I'm on one camp. I'm totally with Matthew. Like, no matter how good Rob Lowe was, this is the one you're supposed to listen to. And on the other hand, I'm like, we listen to Joe Rogan to be entertained. So by that,
Listen, if you want a feel-good podcast with a bunch of fun stories, some good non sequiturs, some ancient, civilization, alien talk, then Rob Lowe is your shit. If you want some sombering, this is kind of the world we live in, and we can maybe fix it if we all band together, then I'd say The Innocence Project is yours.
I say Rob Lowe.
And if you don't like transgendered people, I suggest you listen to Deborah fucking So.
You know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to say you should listen to 2 episodes this week.
I mean, I give them both 5, so I truly believe you have to listen to both those episodes.
Powerful,
Simon.
Powerful Simon.
And as always, who do you think's going to be on next week?
That's well, we know that he jinxed us with Papa. He's going to make an appearance down in Cali from his New York home, where he does his podcast at Sirius, New York. Who do I think is going to be on?
I would like to see David Portnoy on. He's on the list.
Barstool?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
David Portnoy from Barstool Sports. That would be a very
I'm sure he's
good
made an
episode.
offer to Joe.
Well, it's just he was
Like in the early beginnings?
He was just on the Bill Burt podcast as a guest, so I figure. I mean, it makes more sense
He's in
because
the universe.
it makes more sense because Bill, first of all, does stuff for Barstool, but also Bill is like a huge sports guy. Bill Burr fucking bleeds sports, so it makes sense. And then
Kreischer hasn't been on in a while, and he could come on and talk about those drive-ins he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
If Joe's desperate for a guest, but he doesn't seem desperate lately. Comedians aren't like the main
There's a
focus.
7 billion people on the planet. You're never desperate. Anyways, who
I'll
do
tell
you
you
think?
who's not going to be on: Jordan Peterson.
Got what he deserved.
That's sad.
So you think Kreischer and you think Papa?
It's really sad because I just said that, so I jinxed it, and now it's going to happen. I had someone this week that I thought I was like, this is when I say this name that both of you would be like, oh my god, and now I've forgotten it.
And I think we're also due for a physicist because I think Joe needs to get that point of view about the aliens. So I'm also calling some sort of physicist.
Well, I have some reliable information that Tom Hanks may be on this week.
No, you're
Mark,
lying.
you don't want to touch that. Trust me.
Excuse me to say, oh, you think so?
You're
Anyway,
lying.
We'll figure that out one day. But my wild card is Gerard Way,
Is who?
his cousin, the creator of Umbrella Academy.
Your cousin.
Joe's cousin.
Joe's cousin is the creator of the Umbrella Academy?
Yeah, remember we found that on Kevin Smith,
No, I didn't.
the lead
know.
singer of My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Is the creator of the Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
What? He is? He wrote the comic book?
It says written by Gerard Way every episode you watch.
I've never
Remember when they
known.
do the neat logo in a different way?
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
a smart thing to do.
Oh,
Is
I
a producer
love it.
something
It's so
a
cool.
little different starting, but a subtle thing.
Dude, it's
Well,
amazing.
you don't watch it.
It's
Sorry.
amazing.
And it says written by
It's the
Gerard Way.
explosion, and then it's the umbrella. Like, it's very cool. It's a very cool
And
show.
you just never notice the creator's name.
Yeah.
Anyways, if Joe's been watching Umbrella Academy with his daughters
Yeah.
and he thoroughly enjoys it, maybe reach out to his aunt and see if her son wants to come on.
Okay. All right.
Did you hear Christopher Nolan's movie has been shelved indefinitely?
What's his movie?
It was that new. It looked huge. It looked like massive.
What was it, though?
I'll show you an ad for it when we're done. It looked fucking nuts, but obviously they were like,
It wasn't Batman.
no. And I'm sure they were like, okay, well, we've spent a dumb amount of money on this, so there's no way we're just releasing this fucking streaming.
Well, they talked about it for a second on the low
Low-cast.
that Avatar 2. That's turning into Dr. Dre's last album.
Yeah, or Chinese Democracy.
But like I think billions have been spent
Well,
on it already.
It was $1 billion for 3 movies, apparently. That's what Rob Lowe was saying.
So maybe that's it. But he had to change it because something came out that blew everyone's mind. So
Dr. Dre is never releasing another album. I'd like to say that for the record.
wow,
Easy peasy.
poignant.
Let's end it on that.
Poignant.
Freedom.
Thank
That
you
is
guys.
So fucking rude.
I don't get it. Anyway, thank you
Because
so
it's Mel Gibson in Braveheart. He's
Oh,
a dick, this guy.
yes, that's
You know
right.
what, Kamar? If
Freedom, except for Jews.
a million of your people had been murdered, we'd see how funny you thought it was.
A million? Why are you lowballing it?
Yeah.
5
Are you
million.
denying the Holocaust?
Yeah, this guy's half a
I'm
Holocaust
I'm
denier
denying
here.
for million.
I thought it was
people in the
13
holidays.
million.
No, I think it's 4 million, isn't it? Hold on, we better find.
I thought it was
out.
6.
Okay,
You never
whatever.
go down this
No,
road.
no. We're gonna get this right. Talk amongst yourself for a second.
About what?
Have you watched any sports like the traditional sports, hockey, basketball, or baseball? One game.
No.
You might have watched in Saner Times basketball, like a Sens game on TV. Like if the Sens were involved, maybe it'd be different. But it's just like what?
Well, first of all, let's keep in mind it's August. So right now my sports meter would be completely off, as it is every year, because it's only baseball right now. So July and August, Kamar, I have no interest in. Right now, I would be getting amped for NFL preseason. That's where my head would be right now. I would be thinking, okay, what week am I going to win $700,000 this fucking year?
Well, I'll tell you that. That's the one thing I've seen the guys in the stores huddle over the pro line. Like, that's back.
Yeah, of
betting
course.
on
Yeah.
Hey, Adolf, 6 million.
That's what I said.
6 million Jews.
Well, I guess I'm Adolf. I was
That's why
there,
he
right?
knew, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I had the numbers. I had the little ticker.
We are Germans. We do not carry the two.
All right. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Keep your eyes open out there, folks.